you, Lord.
Good afternoon. This is Dave with Windy Ridge Outdoors, and today I'm going to go back to the basics a little bit and just talk to you about worm fishing, Texas rig style. And I'm going to keep it basic. Maybe you've been fishing for a long time and you know every way there is to worm fish and to rig it Texas style. But if you're getting started out, then hope this helps you out. I'm going to go way back though. I'm going to tell my age a little bit today, and I started bass fishing back in the 70s, and when I started, there wasn't no ways near as many bait companies, and the options for what we used wasn't very big variety. There wasn't mainly any creature baits or brush hogs. Back then, Man's Bait Company was popular, and there was a company called Burke, and this was one of the prominent worms back in the 70s. I had a kind of a straight tail, and we rigged it a whole lot different. We didn't have any EWG hooks, and so we used a straight offset worm hook. But before I get into it, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I encourage you to do so. And if you like our videos, hit the like button and tell your friends and your buddies about it, and get them to watch it. So we used to rig it similar to what we do today. Come in about 1/4 of an inch, and like I say, we didn't expose it, or we didn't expose it, or rebury it. We rigged it where the hook wasn't. We tried to get it straight, of course, but we rigged it where the hook was still buried in the plastic, so that whenever the fish you got a bite, you really had to set the hook to bring it through the plastic and through the fish's mouth. But we've come a long ways. But this was one of the worms that was popular back then. Just thought I'd show you. And another one was a Rebel ringworm in a 6-inch and then in a 4-inch, and they were real popular also. And I still like fishing a ringworm today. I use Venom today. I like black with a white curly tail. But for our demonstration purpose, I'm going to use a Berkeley power worm. And today, we use the EWG hook, and this one here is a 3/0. I usually use a 4/0. I just didn't have any up at the house or on my rods. But go with whatever, how deep of water you're fishing or what you feel comfortable with. I usually use a quarter ounce worm weight, and then, like I say, with the EWG hook, and then this here is a Berkeley power worm, and it's got a ridge down it that you can so you can keep it straight. It's got a seam on both sides, so you get to the seam and come through just about 1/4 of an inch, and then bring it through. And then, like I say, today I always come clear through the worm and then bury my hook. Just not bury it, but just skin hook it where it's weedless, like that, and it works real good. And then again, there's ton of options that we have today. You rig a creature bait the same way. You can use a straight tail worm, a zoom trick worm. I use them a lot, and brush hogs. They work real well. But you can throw this into some really heavy cover and not have to worry about getting it snagged, and it's a real good fish catcher. And a lot of times we've went away from just the simple things, and there's probably been as many fish caught on a Texas rig worm than all the other baits made today, and it's still popular and it still catches fish. I just don't fish it as often, but it still catches a bunch of fish. And another way, it's Texas rig also, but using a straight shank hook. This here is a Bass Pro 3/0. I usually use a 4/0. Like I said, I just don't have any up here at the house, but for demonstration purposes, I'm going to show you with this 3/0, and it'll work the same way with a 4/0 or a 5/0. If you're the bigger the worm, the bigger hook you will probably want to use. Today we have 10-inch, and then Zoom old monsters are 12-inch, and now I think there's some out there that's 16. I haven't thrown any of them, but I seen the other day where somebody was using a 16-inch worm. But the same basic deal. Find the seam in your worm, and that's where the curly tail runs, and go through just about 1/4 of an inch, come back out, and bring it up. And instead of coming through the worm, you just want to barely skin hook it in the side of it, just like that. And you want to keep the worm straight, but you're just barely skin hooking it in the side. That way when the fish bites, there's a whole lot less rubber to have to deal with, and the hook comes through very easily, and you got him hooked. So that's another option. Instead of coming up the traditional way, just kind of skin hook it in the side, and it's still just as weedless, and you can still throw it in heavy brush. And that's one thing about fishing a Texas rig. You can throw it in the heaviest brush. You can throw it in grass and work it. It comes through grass real well. Works along docks, and again, the water clarity. I've caught fish in super muddy water where there's not hardly any visibility, and then I've caught them where it's 3 and 4 feet. Most of our lakes around here is 1 foot to 2 foot visibility. And like I said, if you have fished for a long time, no doubt you know these. But if you're just getting started, hey, you can catch a lot of fish. You don't have to go out and spend a lot of money. You can go buy you a pack of worm hooks and a pack of your favorite worms, and you can go out and you can catch fish. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I encourage you to do so. And if you like the videos, give it a thumbs up. Tell your friends, and go fishing as often as you can. Take your kids and grandkids. And until next time, God bless you.